Hi, this is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net, and in today's lesson you're going to learn how to memorize all the note names on the guitar fretboard. Now this can seem like a very daunting task to many because it's just, where do you begin? It just seems very difficult to know all the note names, and it is if you don't have an effective strategy to go about it. So in today's lesson I sit down with guitar playing breakthrough specialist Tom Hess, and he's going to show you how to go about learning all the note names on the guitar. You're going to learn a very simple but effective method for doing this, and you're also going to learn why actually memorizing the notes is not really the best way to go about it. You will end up learning them all, but trying to just memorize them does not work. And you'll also learn how to practice this particular note naming strategy. So let's get to it. Well then, how about you mentioned some methods for learning the note names, so maybe a couple of suggestions there.
Sure.
would be great.
Sure. Okay. So one approach that you can use, and actually Dr. Tommaso Zilio has a really good video on this exact strategy, is to just choose one letter, okay, one note. So maybe you start with A, okay? And now we're going to just find all the A notes on the guitar, okay, that are not, excluding open strings. So basically from frets 1 to 13, or from fret 13 to 25, or whatever, and just playing all of the A notes. Okay, now in this exercise, it is just an exercise. It's not intended as a process to memorize. Okay, so I think sometimes what people do is they think, I need to memorize where a particular note is. Yes, of course, that's the goal that we're trying to get to, but it's good not to confuse the goal or the objective with the process of learning them. Okay, so we don't want to just look and say that's A, that's A, that's A, that's A, and every day look at that A and say that's A. Okay, because we want to be able to find A's everywhere, and then do the same for any other pitch. Memorization at this stage is not really the objective. The objective is to do the exercise to find the notes. And what will happen is you will eventually memorize them, of course, but we're not starting with the thought of, I need to memorize where all the A notes are, and then where all the F notes are, and then where all the E notes. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, but I think that process is going to be a little longer. So that's, you can use this process. You just choose a note, you go through it, finding it on every string from frets, let's say 1 to 13, we're excluding open strings. Then you go to another note, okay? And then you go to another one and another one, all right? And in the beginning, it might feel like you're not getting anywhere, because when you come back to the A, or whatever note you started on, you might have forgotten where those notes are. And then people get frustrated and they think, oh man, I forgot where the A notes were. I went through it and I found them, and now I can't remember them, and now I'm frustrated. So that what people often do is they'll say, you know what? I'm not going to try this exercise with other notes. I'm just going to stick to the A note or D note or B flat or whatever it is. Okay. I would suggest resisting that temptation when doing that particular exercise.
We've got a question here. Can you prioritize the order of memorizing the note names? What would you say?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, yes and no. The no part of the question, the no part of the answer is, for me, I don't think about really the note names hardly at all. I just think about function. So I'm kind of skipping most of that for myself. But I'll answer the question the way it was asked and say yes. And that is just simply to choose the natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are basically the anchors, right? So if you know that this is A, if you know that's A, where is A sharp? If you know what sharp means, it means 1 fret higher in sound. So if that's A, there's A sharp. If you say, well, where's A flat? If you know that flat means 1 fret lower in sound, that's here, A flat. So by knowing A, you now just, you now know three notes in total. You know the A, you know A sharp, and you know A flat. Now, if you also understand that A sharp is the same sound as B flat, two different names, for the same note. Here's A sharp, there's B, B flat. Okay, A sharp, B flat is the same sound on a guitar. Okay, wouldn't quite be the same sound like on a violin, but it's basically the same sound on a guitar. Okay, A sharp, B flat. All right, same thing here. You got A flat, G sharp. So if you know that, you now know three notes. Now, if you, let's say you go to the note D. Okay, here's D. So if you know that this is D and you know what a sharp is, you've got D sharp and you've got D flat, also known as E flat and C sharp. So by knowing two notes, we've just got A and D, we now have learned 6 notes on the guitar. I mean, we've learned basically these two, but we can figure out the ones right next to it. If it's higher, it's sharp. If it's lower, it's flat. Well, there are only 12 notes. That's it. And we've just identified half of them, right? We just identified half by starting with just 2 letters, okay? So you got A, there's these 3, D, there's these 3. Okay, we're only missing a few. So it's when you add, let's say, F, or you add C, or whatever, E, then it's going to be easy to find the other ones right away. All right. So I wouldn't sit there and doing the exercise and memorize where all the A flats are. Just start with A. And from A, you can easily figure out where the A flat or the A sharp, also known as B flat notes are. That would be sort of the priority starting point to get started. Well, once you can do that, we want to eliminate the extra step of first identifying where A is in order to find where A flat is. We want to get to the point where we immediately know where A flat is, without having to think, okay, where's A? Okay, here's A. Now, how do I get to A flat? Well, I go down 1 fret. There, see, we're now adding an extra step that we don't want to have to do. We want to get to the point where we know that's A flat. That's A flat. We don't want to be thinking A and then go down. It's okay to start that way at first. That's okay. You figure it out. But then we want to get to the point where we can go directly to A flat or A sharp or D sharp, E flat, or whatever the note is. That's sort of the second step.
So the same person here, the answer, many vibes. The answer is chromatically. You're not so much saying chromatically though, right? From my understanding, from what you're saying is you're using the natural note names as sort of signposts to then work from to work out flats and sharps, not to sit there and go, okay, this is E, this is F, this is F sharp. I mean, that'd be a more chromatic approach, right?
Right.
Kind of talking chromatically in a sense, moving chromatically, but not from, what note 1 to note 12 as such. Is that right?
Yes, I agree with what you just said, Simon.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know how the word chromatically is being used in the question because it could mean different things.
Sure.
So if you interpret the process the way you suggested, then signpost is a good way to think of this. There's a signpost, and now you got the 2 notes on the outside. There's a signpost, you got the 2 notes on the outside. There's a signpost, you got 2 notes on the outside. So you can figure that out pretty quickly. But I would not do F and then F sharp and then G. I would not do this.
If you like this video, you'll love this ebook complete with video examples called 10 melodic fingerpicking patterns you can learn in 10 minutes or less. Do you struggle to make the fingerpicking patterns you learn on guitar sound like music? Perhaps it's because you believe in one or more of these fingerpicking pattern myths. 1. You need to know a lot of patterns to have your fingerpicking sound musical. 2. Only advanced fingerpicking patterns sound musical. Easy patterns are too basic to sound any good. Or 3. There is a magic pattern out there somewhere that once found will finally have your fingerpicking sound the way you want it to. None of these myths are true. This is because fingerpicking patterns alone are not musical. They're technical. It's what you do with the patterns that will determine how musical they sound. In this ebook, you learn how to make the most boring fingerpicking patterns sound amazing instantly. Plus, the simple trick to make advanced fingerpicking patterns easier to play. and the thumb and one finger trick that's so simple and will have your finger picking sounding pro in no time. Click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook complete with video examples, 10 melodic finger picking patterns you can learn in 10 minutes or less. You'll have it in your inbox within minutes. Let me know in the comments section what acoustic guitar topics or music topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I'm always keen to hear what people would like to see. I read the comments, I reply, so don't be shy, drop us a line and I will consider whatever you have to suggest. If you like this video, then hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you do like it. The last check, I think it was around 70 or 80% of people who watch my videos regularly are not subscribed. You might think you are because you see them come up in your feed because you've seen videos of mine before, but this does not mean you're subscribed. So if you like the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I've released a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, thank you so much for being here and checking out the video. I hope you got a lot from it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.